Welcome to part 10 of this Arch Linux/Awesome tutorial series. In the last video, I went over how to modify window themes using LX Appearance, how to download themes from the Arch user repository, and how to properly install themes downloaded from websites like DeviantArt and gnomelook.org so that LX Appearance may actually use the themes. As this video will be part of the Awesome Configuration mini-series, you can watch this and any of the other customization videos in any order as they are not dependent on one another. If you're lost, please hit the link below to browse this playlist. Alright, before we begin today, if you haven't noticed already, I have been able to figure out how to get VirtualBox to actually run this as an HD machine. I had to remove the Visa drivers and install the VirtualBox drivers and do some configurations on the back end in order to get this actually to support higher resolutions than 1024 by 768. Which is the highest resolution that our generic Visa driver could go to. So if you're interested in that, please check out part 5.5 in this series. It should be in the playlist in the correct order, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. It's not required, but certainly very helpful. Anyway, if you're still here, let's go ahead and take a look at the Start menu. So the Start menu is when you go up here to the top left and you have all these things here, or you right click anywhere on the desktop and it appears there as well. As with most things, any configurations are located within our lovely RC Lua file, and these are actually under this menu part. So the things we are concerned with are My Launcher, My Main Menu, and My Awesome Menu, though to a lesser extent. So basically this My Launcher is actually this part in the top left here that opens the menu. My Main Menu is actually this first menu with the two items in it. As you can see here, it's defining Awesome as well as Open Terminal. Finally, we have the third menu called My Awesome Menu that contains stuff specifically about Awesome, like the manual for it, editing the configuration file, that being the RC Lua file we're looking at now, restarting Awesome, that is restarting it after you've made changes, and quitting Awesome and returning back to the TTY. Let's see, let's take a look at My Main Menu here and go through it step by step so we can begin to understand what the hell is going on here, because it looks like a bunch of gibberish when you first look at it. So what we're doing here is when you open My Main Menu, it's listing Awesome, and then the second parameter is actually My Awesome Menu, which is actually pointing to this submenu here. And then this last thing here is the icon it's using. So now we've learned three things. The first parameter is what shows up as text. The second is actually the command that is being run. And the third, if there is a third, would be the icon. So later on I'll show you how to do that. But if we were to add a third parameter here, we could put an icon for this Open Terminal option, for example. Or we could put a submenu under Open Terminal if we wanted. Or we could rename it. Really, the sky's the limit here. Anyway, I don't really care for Open Terminal, so I'm going to go ahead and comment this out. And I'll show you what that does. I'm going to hit Control-S to save here. And we'll go ahead and restart Awesome. So now if we open the menu, you'll see that that Open Terminal option no longer shows up because we commented it out in the RC Lua file. So, let's see here. This will be a bit better. So let's try to add a new application to this menu. It's pretty simple to do. We're going to go right here within the My Main Menu area. And we're going to add a pair of curly brackets. And we're going to start with a pair of quotation marks. we're going to say what this program is going to show up as in the menu. I'm going to call this web browser, for example. After which we're going to put a comma and then another pair of quotation marks. And this is going to be the actual command for the program that we want to run. So for example, since I have Firefox installed as my web browser, I'd put Firefox here. Now, I'm not going to accept the autocorrection because since it's a command, it's in lowercase. If you have Opera, you'd put Opera here, or Chrome, or Chromium, what have you, but there you go. And then later on, I'll show you how to do an icon, but for now, let's just save this, restart Awesome. And now, if we look, we now have web browser defined in our menu here, so if I click it, our browser does indeed open. Let's say you wanted a submenu with applications in it, and then a submenu within that submenu based on what type of application it is. So you can get pretty crazy with this, but it's actually pretty simple. So if we look at this above here where it says Awesome, in place of the command, it's actually pointing to another menu. And you'll see that Awesome is pointing to my Awesome menu, which is actually up here, and then this menu actually has sub-items within that menu. So we can do the same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and rename this web browser part to Applications. And this part I'm going to erase. And we'll come back to that later. Up here, I'm going to define a new menu, and I'm going to call this Apps Menu, or My Apps Menu. And we're going to use this as an example here. So it starts off with an equal sign, and then we're going to use two curly brackets or braces. And then again, we're going to use another pair for the first item in this menu. And we're going to leave that blank. Now we'll add another menu, and we'll call this Internet Menu. And we'll put a pair of curly braces there, and then another pair of curly braces inside it. Okay, so let's go back to Apps Menu here. And I'll just define something, and I'll call this Internet. Okay, and now I'm going to put a comma there, and within here I'm going to call Internet Menu. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'm going to save and restart Awesome. And now if we right click, you'll see nothing. Oh, right, because I defined them, but I didn't tell Awesome where they go. Okay, my bad. We're going to throw this here under Applications. So this Applications thing is going to actually point to my Apps Menu. So right here after the comma, we're going to put my Apps Menu. There we go. I'm going to save now and restart. So basically what we did here is added a submenu under Applications and now another submenu under Internet. Now you'll get an error up here if you followed me along step by step because we actually haven't defined anything within Internet Menu, so it's freaking out right now. But we'll go ahead and close that. So basically what we're going to do is now add Firefox under this Internet Menu. So what we can do here is add web browser. And then of course add a comma and then in quotations put your browser. And there we go. You may be asking me, wait a second, why are you putting Firefox in quotations and not putting Internet Menu in quotations? Well, when you put something in quotations, you're telling this that this is an actual command outside of the RC-Lua file. Within the RC-Lua file, you don't put quotation marks because you're actually pointing to something else within RC-Lua. So in this example, since I'm using Internet Menu as Internet, it's actually pointing to this part in the RC-Lua file. And then when I run web browser, I'm actually running the command Firefox. That does not exist within the RC-Lua file. So here I'm going to save and restart Awesome, and we'll see what happens here. So I'm going to right click. Now under Applications, under Internet, we have Web Browser. And of course, if I click it, Firefox opens. Pretty cool. So we can get crazier with this and create another menu. Call this Appearance Menu, =, 2 curly braces, and another pair. And in here I'm going to put Appearance, and then a comma, and then I'll put in LX Appearance. Okay, so now since I've defined Appearance menu, I need to put it within my Apps menu. So here I'm going to create a new line, put a new set of curly braces, put a set of quotation marks, call this Appearance. And then I'm going to put a comma there, and then define that I am in fact pointing to Appearance menu, and there we go. Now, before you go ahead and restart, put a comma after that last curly brace to tell it to go to the next line instead of having it think that this is all one command. You will break Awesome if you forget your commas, so be very careful. We're going to hit Control S here, and we're going to go ahead and mod for Control and R to restart. And now if we open Applications, you'll see Appearance and Internet as subfolders, and we can go ahead and open Appearance, and that opens our LX Appearance. Simple as that, guys. Alright, so now let's talk about icons. Now, when we installed Awesome, we didn't install any icon themes with it, so if we were to open, say, a file manager, we don't have any icons. It's fine with me, but some people tend to have an issue with this. So, for now, we're just going to focus on icons within the Start menu itself. So, for starters, let's grab some icons. I'm going to hit up my favorite site for stuff, gnomelook.org. So, let's check it out. And here on the side, you can see icons. Now, Phendrana is actually one of the most popular themes available. It's actually quite good, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it. Okay, now that it's downloaded, I'm going to go ahead and go to our Downloads folder here. You'll see that that Phendrana icon theme is in fact downloaded. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to go to a new workspace and open a file manager as well as a terminal. So you can see what I'm doing in the terminal in real time right here. So let's go to Downloads. You'll see that Phendrana icon theme is a zip file. So in order to get all users to be able to use this new icon theme that we just downloaded, we have to throw this into user share icon. What we can do is actually leave it in here in the Downloads folder and use it from here. But if you were to install any other users, or add any other users rather, to this operating system, they would not be able to access this user's home folder, so in turn they would not be able to access these icons. So we're going to go ahead and create a new folder in user share icons. So first I'm going to go to user share icons, and you'll see we have a very generic high color folder in there. I'm not interested in that. So what I'm going to do here is create a new folder, sudo make dir user share icons. We'll call this Phendrana, and you'll now see that Phendrana folder has in fact appeared. So now we're going to change directory there. Whoops. And of course, if we ls, there's nothing there. So from here, we can actually use the command unzip. Now, if you've been following along, we downloaded this in the themes video in order to unzip DeLorean Dark. So if you have not followed along video by video, you will have to download unzip from, I believe it was the official repositories, but I'm not sure. But you will have to download unzip. Anyway, we're going to unzip from our home folder, downloads, and finally Phendrana icon theme, and we're going to download to this directory. Oh, you will have to sudo it. Okay, so there we go. So now we have all this stuff in here. Now you have various different types of themes in here that you can dick around with, but the main thing is that they're all as tar balls, so you'll have to use tar with the Z, X, and F switches, and we'll go ahead and pick this Phendrana, just the regular one. So again, you'll have to sudo it. Alright, so now that you decompress that, there will be a new directory here that you can go to, and you'll see now that you have different categories of icons you can look at. Mostly we'll be concerned with applications here. It also comes with different sizes as well, but since our menus are so small, we only need 16. And you'll have all sorts of different applications you can dick around with, but for now we have Firefox that we want to use. So we'll go ahead and point to that. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over to our workspace with Sublime in it. Now, if you're a little flabbergasted with all the different things I'm doing here, please check out my Intro to Awesome video, where I should go over all the different commands. Anyway, so we have our icons open here in our file browser, so we can actually see what they look like. And now we can actually add the icons into our RC Lua. So for example, I'm looking at the web browser part here with Firefox. So to add an icon, all you do is just add the third part. So you put a comma, and then in here you put the path to that specific image. So for example, I'm going to copy this and throw it in here. And there's the path. Now we also need the image itself. I like this one, Firefox Original PNG, so I'm going to go ahead and type that in. Whoops. Firefox original.png. And there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control S to save. And we'll go ahead and restart Awesome and see what happens. Okay, so I'll go ahead and open this, go to Applications and Internet, and there we go. Our web browser does have an icon. So let's go ahead and change another icon. Let's change LX Appearance. Oh, I like this one, Desktop Effects.png, so we'll just go ahead and add that. So an RC Lua here as a third parameter after LX Appearance, 2 quotation marks. And again, point it to that specific directory, put another dash there, or another slash rather, and put desktop effects.png. Save, restart. Whoops. And now if we open the menu and go to Applications Appearance, Appearance now has an icon. Just that easy. So now you know how to make shortcuts to applications, application submenus, But let's now worry about this particular awesome icon. Now, this one's going to be a little different to change, not necessarily more difficult. But what you can do here, I'm going to move this directory over to another workspace. Let's see. There. Okay. And I'm going to open another file manager. But before I do that, I'm going to download something called GKSU, which is a graphical front end for sudo, in order to be able to open a graphical program as a super user. So, Pacman, capital S, GKSU. Yes. Okay. So now, when you run a program, you can use the prefix GKSU, just like sudo. But since we're going to open the file manager now as a root user, we need that GKSU. So now that we do that, it's going to ask for your password. And there we go. Now we have a file browser opened as root. We're concerned with this particular icon up here. So to do that, we're going to go to your users folder. Go to config, awesome, themes. And in here, we're going to go to the theme that you are currently using. Right now, I'm using Arch. You could be using something else. So in here, you'll see, of course, the background that we've set. And here's the particular icon that is being used for the start menu. So what we can do here is actually rename it. Just rename it anything other than Awesome 16. Alright, there we go. So now we can just select another icon. Any icon will do. Let's try this one, gnomnettool.png. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this and then paste it into this folder. And in here, I'm going to rename it to awesome16.png. Hit OK. It's just that simple. Now I'm going to go ahead and restart Awesome. And now you'll see that the icon here has in fact changed, just like it has here as well. Alright guys, so one final thing I like to do is actually set a different submenu for logging out, restarting, and shutting down the computer. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to find one up here. I'll call it shutdown. Menu equals open curly brace and another set. And here I'll set a few things. Let's do return to TTY, and here I'll put awesome.quit. This will return to the TTY. This will be the same command as down here that Awesome has by default as restart, but rather the quit. So I'll go ahead and comment that out to avoid being redundant. And I'll also comment out manual and edit config since I don't need those. So I'll put return to TTY, put a comma here, set another set, and I'll put shutdown. Actually, no, reboot. And here I'll put the command reboot. Put another comma here. Another set of curly brackets. Shutdown. Comma, and then the command shutdown. Hyphen capital P for power. And now. And that'll shut down the machine. So now that that has been defined, I can go ahead and throw it down here after Applications menu. Log out, I guess. I don't know, I'll be clever later. And here I'll just point it to the shutdown menu. And there we go. So I'm going to hit Control S, Mod 4, and Control R to restart. And now we do have our logout menu with Return to TTY, Reboot, and Shut Down. So if I hit Return to TTY, it will take me back to the TTY. This is just a graphical glitch that VMware has. So the TTY is actually in a smaller resolution, but it does glitch out and show your wallpaper and stuff. It's really not a big deal, so I can hit Start X, and then I'll go ahead and open my graphical interface again. But you can see here that I do have those options now. So I'll go ahead and shut down here. Actually, before I do that, let's do a little review of all the neat little things you learned today. So today we learned how to comment stuff out that we didn't want. We learned how to add applications or application shortcuts into our right-click or start menu. So you add what you want the thing to show up as, the actual command, and then an icon if you want. You learned how to define a new submenu. So for example, here we called apps menu, we made an internet menu, an appearance menu, and finally a shutdown menu. And how to point to those in the actual main menu. You learned how to add icons. And you also learned how to change the actual default start menu icon as well. So that'll be it for today. I hope you learned something new. I hope this was helpful and informative and all that good stuff. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. And I'd like to thank you very much for watching. These videos do take a very long time to put together, so it means a lot that you guys watch and comment and ask me questions. So take care, guys, and I'll catch you guys next time.